Hey, what's up, world, and welcome to the 8th edition to the Take One podcast. I am Chris, and I'd like to thank you guys for joining me. And I got quite a few topics to talk about today. As you know, I'm going to be talking about from the title of the episode. I'm going to be talking about this Netflix Disney deal that they got going on that's soon to be taking place soon. I'm going to be talking about Tom Holland was spotted on set in the Spider-Man outfit, as well as I got my review trailer, or my trailer review for the third Star Wars film, the third trailer for that. And The Rock, and a few other things, I'm going to be tackling today. So without any further ado, let's get started with our first topic. And our first topic of today is the Tom Holland was found on, well, not found, but he was, there were pictures taken of him in the Spider-Man outfit for the Spider-Man Homecoming film that's coming out next year, which is the Sony Marvel connection or whatever, or collaboration movie that's going to be dropping. It's going to be part of the MCU universe, or I mean that's redundant, the MCU movie, whatever, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, damn it. And so there's not really much to say about it. There was was pictures with him just kind of standing there with a backpack on, and as we all know, that this Spider-Man, this incarnation of this live-action Spider-Man, is younger than the other actors, or just the other Peter Parkers that were in the other movies, because this one is supposed to be kind of like, I guess you could say like a freshman in high school, when the other ones were kind of like junior, senior year, and then ended up graduating, and they started doing the college years and beyond, or whatever the hell. And so I mean, it's really nothing too much to say about it. I mean, I like the pictures. One thing that I can say is that I wasn't a big fan of the overall look of Spider-Man within Captain America Civil War. I mean, when I saw the trailer, when they first said, I believe it was like the second or third trailer for Captain America Civil War, when they introduced Spider-Man within the last part of it, it was like, the suit was kind of decent. And then when I saw the movie, it looked a little better, but it was like, okay, yeah, it was just plain. It wasn't nothing too extravagant. And plus, it was basically CG. You really didn't see a real mock-up of like a real suit, Tom Holland standing there and all that stuff. And like now, just seeing these photos of how the suit really looks, I believe it's a different suit. I'm not entirely sure if it's the same exact suit that was shown in Civil War, but I mean, I kind of like the design of it. At first, I was kind of like against it, but like now I'm kind of liking the design of it, as I'm getting a good glimpse of it, a good look at it, with it actually being a suit and not just CG. And it actually looked pretty decent. I mean, it's not as defined as the other ones, but at the same time, it's a different Spider-Man, a different actor, not really a different Spider-Man. I guess you can say that. Different Peter Parker, a different type of Spider-Man, a different actor and all that stuff. So they have to change around certain things. And I like that, I actually find it kind of like, I ain't gonna say pretty cool, but, it's decent enough. So I want to see how it plays out in the trailers, once the trailers start dropping or new photos start dropping, and just see how it looks in the in the movie. I mean, and that's my thinking on a lot of shit. You get like these little photos or concept art, and you won't really get the full picture until you see the actual trailer or the movie. So I mean, it is what it is. So and moving on to the next topic. The next topic is my review for the latest and last Star Trek Beyond trailer. Now, I've been a big fan of the the Star Trek reboot. And like, I know a lot of people ain't like it because it's not like the original series. So what? It's a Star Trek for the new generation. Suck it. Okay, but anyway, like, the first trailer for Star Trek Beyond, I really didn't mind it, though. I know it didn't get received well because a lot of people didn't like it. It was just kind of being too Guardian of the Galaxy type. And I guess that's what the director, or yeah, I think the director was trying to go for, was just that type of feel for it. And a lot of times when you put it like that, it's not really the greatest way to go. But in any case, I didn't mind the first trailer. I really didn't care for the music, so I was just looking at the trailer. The second trailer was actually pretty cool. I mean, it was like a better, like they corrected it. It was like, okay, we saw what the mistakes that we did in the first trailer, and then the second one was kind of cool. And so now we got this third trailer, and it's actually, I don't know, like it's pretty decent. The song it has a new song by Rihanna that was made. I'm guessing it was made for the movie. I don't know if it's on her latest CD, but to my knowledge, it was made for the movie. Ooh. Damn, I'm over here hitting stuff. But yeah, and to me, how people didn't like the first one because of the music that was playing, I'm looking at the trailer. I don't have the problem with the trailer, but it's the song. Like, I don't have no problem with the song. I haven't heard it. I don't know what the full version sound like, but it, like, I don't know, the song didn't fit the trailer. I don't know if I'm the only person that, kind of feels the same way. Or, if I'm the only person that feels that way, if there's other people that feel the same way as me. But I mean, it's not bad, but it just didn't fit the trailer, They should have did what they did with the second trailer and just had like a regular score. And then that was it, just took it from there. But they just added this song and it just didn't fit. Maybe, at the end, once like the movie ends and then it comes on in the credits, it'll sound better that way. But just for this trailer, I really didn't like it for it. But as far as the trailer overall, I didn't mind it, put the music aside and all, I really didn't mind the trailer. The trailer was actually pretty cool. I mean, I was going to see this movie regardless. Like, I love the first Star Trek movie, and I love Star Trek Into Darkness, no matter how people don't, how much people didn't like it or whatever. I loved it. I thought it was better than the first one. But that's just my opinion, Everybody has their opinions. And so this one, with me being in love with those movies, of course I'm going to go see this. Now, do I have doubts that this might not be as good as the other ones? Yeah, I kind of do. But at the same time, it might be on the same level, or it might be the best one out of the 3 movies. So, I mean, you never know. And so, moving on to the next topic, I'm going to be talking about The Rock is being considered, or better yet say, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is being considered for the Wolfman role in the rebooted Monsters universe for Universal, or the Universal Monsters universe for Universal. That's a lot of universes. But yeah, he's being considered for it, and I love it. I seriously love it. Like, I seriously can see it. I mean, you already have Tom Cruise being in the reboot of the Mummy film, which I'm kind of curious to see how it's gonna play out. I have no doubt with Tom Cruise being a action star as what he is, and what he's did in Jack Reacher, and what he's did with the Mission Impossible franchise. I have no doubt that movie is probably gonna be badass. And then, I don't know, they have Johnny Depp as the Invisible Man, the upcoming movie for the Invisible Man, but with all the controversy surrounding him and, his wife, I don't know if that's going to play out, or if they're going to continue that path of having him be a part of that. I don't know if they're going to recast him, but as far as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson being Wolfman, I think that would be perfect. I love it. I love the sound of it. I mean, not even just the fact that it's The Rock, because, like, I mean, just put it out there. He's had some crappy movies, but at the same time, he's grown to be an enjoyable and charismatic actor in Hollywood. I mean, God, who wouldn't want to see Rock do anything? I mean, if he's in a romantic comedy, you're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna go see it. If he's gonna be in a drama, you're gonna go want to see it. If he's gonna be in an animated a live action animated, hybrid or whatever, you're gonna go see it. But in seeing this, that he is considered to be cast to be the Wolfman, that's something I can see. That's something that I can envision, and by me envisioning it, it looks good. Like that is, I hope that they end up grabbing him, because if they do, he can add that to the plethora of like 10,000 movies that he's going to be in from now all the way into 2020, because this guy is basically probably going to be just like a Samuel Jackson, where he's in like 7 films every year, no matter if he's a main role, supporting role, a cameo, he's going to be in like almost in probably about 5 movies every year. This guy, he just works and just doesn't sleep, I believe. He has robot clones or whatever, and he just does what he does. But I mean, like I said, it is a perfect casting if they did it, and if they're able to grab him and able to fit it into his busy schedule. But I think that was whoever came up with the idea to want to get him to do it, and they need to be like, they need a promotion or a high pay grade if they end up nabbing him for that, because that's perfect. That is like perfect casting, and I will be fully behind it if they end up doing it. And so, moving on to the next topic, I'm going to be talking about the title topic, which is the Netflix deal with Disney. Now, it came out a little bit earlier this year, and kind of the wrong information got out, so now it's been clarified that before we heard of the deal with Disney and Netflix, that Disney was going to give Netflix the key to their vault, so where you can stream all the Disney movies on there, which that's kind of like the wrong information. What it is that Netflix signed a deal with Disney, or Disney, they signed a deal to where it's like Netflix is going to get its new releases. So all the new movies that's coming out, Captain America, Civil War, or probably not even that. I mean, whenever, I don't even know when that comes out to DVD, but movies starting in September. Any movies that's like with Disney, whether it's Marvel, Lucasfilm, Pixar, or just under the Disney name, none of the other side companies, it's going to be released to Netflix once it's like done with its theatrical run officially. It's going to hit Netflix first before it hits any other platform, as in like Amazon or Hulu or something like that, or even like HBO and all that stuff. It's going to hit Netflix first. And to me, it seems like Netflix is already a juggernaut. They started off with this little streaming service, wasn't too much, and they've grown since then. So now they have their own original shows. They've teamed up with Disney in producing some of the best like superhero content on, I ain't gonna say TV, but just on, like, I guess you can say just streaming, which is Daredevil and Jessica Jones, and soon to come is going to be the Punisher, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and just stuff like that. And just they have their other shows as well. They have like a gang of other shows that's just Netflix original series that have been just great shows, from just from what everybody else is saying to just some, I believe, won awards and stuff like that, and just gaining popularity. So Netflix, for them to have this deal, is going to push them up, because Disney right now in itself, as far as movies, is a juggernaut. With Pixar making great films every year, you already know what Marvel is doing, and you already know what Lucasfilm has done in the past and what they're going to continue to do, especially starting with Episode 7. And Rogue One looked like it's about to freaking be awesome. And so, like, all that can come from this deal is greatness. All it can do is come from this deal, because how sweet is that to have the first airing of these movies that came from the theater on your streaming service before anyone else. So I think that it's the perfect deal. And Netflix, they hit the jackpot. They really did. Like, there's nowhere else that they can go but up from there. So I mean, it's actually a pretty cool deal. I can't wait till it start because I'm sure like everybody who has Netflix can't wait, especially if you love those Pixar movies and Marvel movies like I do, or Lucasfilm movies and stuff like that. So more than likely you're gonna find episode 7 on there. You're gonna find some of the most recent Disney films on there as well. I'm not sure. I'm not saying like that you're gonna do that. I mean, you're gonna find that or whatever on there, but more than likely they're gonna throw the newest releases on to Netflix once that start. Or I mean, you probably might find some of them before then, but still, I think it's like one of the best deals that they could come across, and they actually got like the best deal. And I know not Netflix, Hulu, Amazon is like just looking at them with envy. I mean, because their signs is already kind of green, so I mean, it's whatever. But anyway, as I move on, it was released recently that Suicide Squad has got its official runtime, and I mean, I've heard like say it's kind of short, but I mean, I guess you can say that it's kind of short only because of the simple fact that it has a gang of characters in there, and that you would think it would be 2.5 hours long. It's 130 minutes, which basically equals out to 2 hours and 10 minutes. Which, when you kind of think about it, it is, I ain't gonna say it's short, but it's kind of short compared to movies like Batman v Superman or Captain America Civil War, Avengers, and stuff like that. Because those movies are closer to being, or at least at the 2.5 hour, or maybe even a little bit more than that time limit. But I mean, it's all in how you do it. They have a gang of characters, actors, all up in that movie, and so I guess it's all in how it's carried, how they juggled and handled the everybody up in the movie. And like, if you can do it well and do it within a certain amount of runtime, then it don't matter, because if you can cover everything within that, you doing a good job. You know that you're a great writer or a great director if you can do all that. And I don't have no problem with it. We don't need no extra long ass movie. We don't need no 3-hour movie. I mean, we already have a 3-hour cut of Batman v Superman, which I cannot wait to see because that movie. Yeah. But anyway, so I can't wait to see this whole Suicide Squad movie, and the runtime I think is reasonable. It's nothing that you can just smirk at and just play off to the side and just saying like, oh well, it's too short, this and that. But if it's done well, it's gonna be good. So I mean, I have no problem with the runtime. You don't need it too extra long or whatnot. So it is what it is. So moving on to the next topic, man, I'm kind of breezing through this. This is going to be like a quick show because I only have 2 more topics to get to. Yeah, so I know y'all tired of hearing my voice. But anyway, moving on to the next topic. The next topic is, this hasn't been confirmed. It really hasn't. But there are rumors, and I put it in bold capital letters. Rumors, which I hope that is true, but it's just rumors, that Marvel and Fox are having talks behind closed doors about the possibility of a crossover. Which, if that happens, I will be one of the most happiest guys in the world, because it's like, it's worked out. We can see that that's basically going to work out with like Sony and Marvel. You can tell it just by what I said in my last, I believe it was the last, I said in one of my podcasts, or I don't know, I've said it before, put it like that it worked out tremendously with Sony, because what Sony couldn't accomplish with 5 Spider-Man movies and having a reboot of the original trilogy of the Spider-Man movie, what they couldn't accomplish, Marvel knocked it out the park in a long extended cameo in Captain America Civil War. So you can only imagine what we can expect when it comes to Spider-Man Homecoming. You can and just with what Marvel has been doing with their characters, and now what they're doing with Sony's character that Sony couldn't get right. If they were to strike a deal, and they don't even have to reboot the X-Men franchise, which if they get this deal, they're probably gonna end up doing it. But I mean, it wouldn't make sense. But that's a whole nother thing, because you just started the Deadpool thing and the New Mutants supposed to coming out and X-Force and stuff like that, and it's whatever. But I mean, if they do it, they don't have to reboot it. They can do something where it's like actual Marvel universe and the actual Fox universe, or Fox Marvel universe, where you can have something happen to where they cross into different worlds or a different universe or something like that, and they can have something of that nature, which they probably not. They're going to reboot it. It's whatever. But I mean, possibilities. I mean, they've done that in the comic books, in Marvel and DC, and probably other different smaller brand comic books. Is that you have cross universes. And they have that possibility of doing it. They have it. They have characters that can do it. So I mean, if they do come up with a deal, that would be love. I think that would be every sweaty, every nerd, every whatever you want to call them, geek. That would be just Marvel movie lovers in general. That would be our wettest dream ever. Because that sounds like the perfect matchup, especially with what Marvel is doing. And when you kind of think about it, Fox, as far as the Marvel properties, they've been doing well with the X-Men franchise. But they had some hits and some misses or whatever. And for some, to me, it kind of seemed like the X-Men franchise is kind of going down. Even though X-Men First Class, I love that movie. That was a movie I regret not seeing in the theaters. I heard how good it was, but I just did not see it in theaters. And when I saw it when it came out to DVD, I kicked myself in the ass because that movie was amazing. And Days of Future Past was a decent movie. I thought it was a decent movie. I literally thought it was a decent movie. I'm not saying that it was bad. I thought it was like horrible or nothing, because it wasn't. It was a good film. It's just it didn't tickle my fancy, but I can admit that it was a very good movie. X-Men Apocalypse was kind of lower than that, and it was kind of disappointing, to know that they couldn't keep up with that. And it's a lot of people that did love Days of Future Past that were more disappointed than I was after seeing Apocalypse, because they loved that movie and they thought that this movie was going to be on the same level or higher, and it just whatever. So it's like it's seeming like, yeah, and also to add that some of the cast members might not end up coming back for the next X-Men movie. So it looks like Fox is in need of help. So if these rumors turn out to be true, I wouldn't be against it. I really wouldn't. I mean, I think everybody would love to see a Marvel Fox crossover, especially a lot of the average moviegoers that don't know about, they can't tell the difference between Marvel and DC. They don't know, is Spider-Man under, DC? Or, they can't tell the difference. And they damn sure can't tell the difference what, characters are under what company. They don't know that certain characters are owned by Fox. They don't know that Marvel can only use certain characters. They don't know that Sony can only use certain characters and stuff like that. So when it comes to it, this would kind of make a lot of sense, because then you can put them all within the same universe. You don't have to put them all in the same movie, but you can have them cross over or something of that nature. But I don't know how they're going to do it, because, I mean, be honest, Marvel doesn't need to do it. They really don't. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is just basically what it is, just a rumor. It's not true at all. they probably had thoughts, about maybe talking, but just whatever. You do your thing, we do our thing. We don't need you. You can keep X-Men and this and that. Even though it would be good if they got X-Men back or got to work with the characters and put them in there, but they don't need them. They have a gang of characters that they can use, and even characters that they haven't used yet. They can bring them to the Marvel Cinematic Universe that they still have rights over, and even characters that wasn't popular before the movies came out. Captain America wasn't super duper popular. Now he's one of the biggest names in superhero, as well as Iron Man. He was one of the people kind of like Ant-Man in Guardians of the Galaxy when his movie first came out. And now he's mad popular. He's one of the most popular people right next to, I guess you could say he's at the point of, as far as popularity, is Batman and Superman for so many years. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Spider-Man were like the top superheroes. I mean, you have Hulk and, Hulk or whatever, and you had certain characters, but a lot of people didn't really care for Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and this and that. But now it's like you go to any little kid, they know who Iron Man is, they know who Captain America is, they know who Thor, they know all these characters that they wouldn't have known had the MCU not have brought these movies to light and made them as big as they did. So with that, it's like Marvel don't need X-Men. They don't ever have to get X-Men movie rights reverted back to them in order for them to succeed. They don't. Matter of fact, to put it in light, Spider-Man is one of the most popular superheroes right next to, like I said, the DC Trinity with, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And Marvel didn't need Spider-Man. They don't. I mean, it's nice to have them, but they don't need Spider-Man. They don't need X-Men. They're doing good all by themselves. But, the more the merrier. The more the merrier. If they can keep going, if they can keep, having if they can have X-Men a part of that, at least starting in phase 4, have the X-Men, then, the Fantastic Four and all that stuff a part of their cinematic universe, then they have their whole new thing. They can disband, they can kill off Captain America, they can kill off Iron Man, they can kill off a lot of the major people and just kind of have the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and have these new people and probably even have a new Avengers team and start phase 4 off bigger and better than ever, and make the X-Men probably way better than what they were or what they are or whatever. But yeah, I mean, if it, like I said, if it happens to, be true, I hope that they do it. And if they do it, I'll be looking forward to it, as well as a whole bunch of other people. But if it don't, we're not going to lose sleep, Marvel going to keep pumping out them hits, and hopefully Fox keep pumping out them hits or whatever, and we keep getting good movies like Deadpool, or the next X-Men movie knocks our socks off, and whatever other movie that they plan to bring out. Hopefully it'd be great, so we can keep having these great superhero movies and we won't have to settle for trash. And so yeah, that's my thought. And so moving on to the last and final topic. It's just something that I want to talk about. It's not really movie news per se, but it's just something that I wanted to get my thoughts on, since it's my podcast and that's what I do. Here is my thoughts on this, and it's just basically talking about the female versions of male roles. Meaning, just to put in an example, Ghostbusters. How this new Ghostbusters, even though it hasn't been established to more than likely the average moviegoer, that this isn't a continuation. This isn't a spin-off. This is a reboot. So the other Ghostbusters movies don't exist. This is the first one. This is a reboot. Just like the Spider-Man movies, the first 3 is basically, that's done and over with. And then it got rebooted to the Amazing Spider-Man, and now that's scrapped. And now we about to reboot it to Spider-Man Homecoming and all that stuff and go forward with that. This movie is just like that. It's just it's a reboot. There's nothing more than that. And it's like, I have a big problem with females taking the roles of male was male driven, like performances in movies. And it's not that I'm against it because of, oh, it's women and they can't lead. No. I'm not that type of guy. My only problem is that come out with original female-led movies. Don't take a movie that's already been made and make a female version of it. Because I've heard that there have been talks about making a female 21 Jump Street, making a female Men in Black, making a female Ocean's 11. You know, it's like, why do you need to make a female version of those movies? Why can't those movies just be where it is and you come out with a new one? And there's even been talks lately of like a female version of James Bond. Why? That's saying a lot. That's basically saying to these young women out here that's aspiring to be whatever, movie stars, singers, whatever, that the only way that you can do something is if like there is some type of man type presence involved. And basically what I'm saying is that like you can't okay, what am I trying to say? Okay. Put it in perspective. They're saying that these companies are saying that these movies would not work if it wasn't a male version. That if it was just a original female led movie, that it wouldn't do as good. So it has to be a reboot of a male orientated movie to make it female. It's like, why? I mean, you're basically saying that you don't have faith in original works, that a female can come out and lead a movie, or a lot, females can come out and lead a movie. You have to reboot it in a female way. Why does it have to be a female version? Come out with an original. You can come out with a movie that maybe be James Bondish or whatever, but it's a female. You don't have to call her Jane Bond, or you don't have to say, oh, this is the female version of James Bond. You don't have to do that. You don't have to be like, oh, we're going to make an all female cast of the Ghostbusters. You don't have to do that. It doesn't need to be made. It really doesn't. And I'm sorry for the people. Like, I'm near a window and there's like kids running around outside and my microphone picks up everything. But like I was saying, like, you don't have to make a female version of a male movie. You can go and do an original work, and it's like, that's where the creativity comes in. You don't have to redo something that's already been out. I mean, I know a lot of people is going off of the name, the property of the name, or the actors that been in that movie or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, have faith in your writers, have faith in what you're doing, and have faith in whatever female, or I ain't gonna say female, but woman that you may, hire to be the actress of this movie. Have faith that your creativity can boost that female movie to where it's like, it's an original work and it's successful. Have faith in that. You don't have to put a female in a male role just to, sell money, because that's basically saying that you really don't have faith in like an original work. And I just kind of like hate that aspect of it. I mean, I get that that's the politics of like Hollywood, and a lot of times it has to do with money and, an image and blah, blah, blah. But I feel like they can do a lot more with a female, role that don't have to have been a previously a male role. And I just kind of hate that aspect of it, especially if I have a daughter. I don't want her to, look at it and be like, oh, well, this is going to be successful because it was a male role before. Like, no, this is successful because because it's a strong woman character or a strong female lead, and the actress in it did a great job. I just kind of hate that whole aspect of it. It just kind of like gets to me. Not too much, like I'm not just sitting there, falling asleep just mad. But that's why I'm kind of like upset at the, whenever they come up with like a new concept like that. And even when they mention the female Ghostbusters well, female led Ghostbusters and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, really, female led? Like, oh, and it was like around that time you was hearing all these female led movies that were previously man roles, and it's just like, oh, New Ocean's 11. Oh, there's gonna be female led, and this and that movie is gonna be a female version. That movie gonna be a female. It's like, come on, really? Is this the new trend now? What, we gonna have a female Captain America movie? You know, we're gonna have shit. We're gonna have a female whatever. It's like, come on, do something original, please. Just do something really original, and it's like you'll be better off for it. Especially if you make money off of it. It's like I don't think anybody would care. You know, especially if you get a good actress, have her do a great job, great story, great whatever, just basically all around, just take care of the film, and you will make your money, and you will have a great film that everybody will want to see. And with that, that's all I have to say on that. And yeah, with that said, that concludes this Take One podcast, the 8th episode, which episode 9 will be up shortly as well. I mean, I've been a few weeks, backed up or whatever. I need to, catch up or whatever. But here I am doing what I need to do. And I'd like to thank you guys for checking out my podcast. And if you liked it, which I know you did, so go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you can check out this podcast. Share it with your friends. Check out my other podcasts as well, and everything else that I'm doing, the movie reviews and everything else, and even the newer projects that I'm going to be working on within the next few weeks. And just all the new videos, just all of it, and just everything. And this is exclusively to YouTube, so if you're listening to this, you're on YouTube at this moment. So everything that you might need to know or check out is in the description below. Like I said, movie reviews, you want to follow me on social media, everything is down there up in the description, all the links and everything else, links to the other podcasts. You want to check them out. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, go ahead and check that out. And I think that's really about it. Watch out for episode 9. Subscribe so that you can, get an alert for when episode 9 drops. And so I will catch you guys later. Until next time.